Hello everyone, it's Teresa. I just wanted to explain, I'm going to give you a tutorial on how to do a sous vide. Right now we are going to be doing a sous vide of rack of lamb. I am going to do two ways. I'm going to go ahead and season up my rack of lamb, get them ready. Will is going to talk to you about setting up the sous vide. I already have the water at temp, so let's go ahead and get started with seasoning up our rack of lamb, and we can go from there. So what I am going to do, very basic rack of lamb. You just want basic seasoning. I'm doing it two ways because I'm going to save one and show you how to do it if you do not have a sous vide machine. Basically, you want salt and pepper. Put salt, pepper over both sides. Are you saying I should do the oil first? No?
Doesn't matter. It's all going in the same bag.
That's true. He's right. I should have added oil. So I got a little olive oil here. Rub it in. I just didn't want to get my hands in the olive oil, rubbing it in. But you know, that's what they have soap and water for. So I got more oil. All right, and my salt's on there. Now I'm going to take my pepper. Like again, it's very basic seasoning, salt and pepper. All right, and then we're going to add our garlic and rosemary. Now, one of the things you want to do, I'm going to do it for the one we're going to put in our machine, is I am going to put this in a shrink wrap. So I'm going to make my bag first, which, hold on one second, that's not the problem. The problem is I had oil on my hands, so. Alright, so I think we'll go with this guy, making the bag first. Cut it off, alright. And seal the bottom of my bag. Takes a few seconds here. So what do you think? It started snowing again. That's crazy. Alright, bottom of the bag. In goes my rack of lamb. Alright. Make sure it's dry. I'm going to take rosemary. And I'm only doing half because, like I said, we're going to do another way. And half of my garlic. Alright, now let's go ahead and shrink wrap my lamb. There we go. And it is now sealing the other side. Perfect. This one is going to be going into our, all right, now let's go ahead. One of the reasons why I did two different ways is because now, let's say you don't have a sous vide machine. You can still do this how we used to do it all the time, is just take your large bag, Ziploc bag, same thing, put your meat in your Ziploc bag and all your seasonings. And then what you're going to do, again, dry it off. I'm going to roll it, trying to get as much air out as possible. Alright. And
Don't close it all
I'm not going to close it all the way because we're going to try to get the air out. So let's come over here. Now, when we do it the old-fashioned way, you're going to bring this out, come down, get it down. This is why we didn't shut it all the way. So you get all the air out from there. And then seal it. Now you see I have a thermometer in the water. The best way to do this, if you don't have a machine, is you can still do it on the stovetop to do this. And you're going to use it however you'll get to know your stove. You want to keep the water, like say, I want a medium rare for my lamb. So I'm going to get this water up to 131 degrees for my medium rare. Now, will still work. It's just trickier because until you get to know your machine, your stove, you're still going to play with it. You'll be watching the temperature, and it'll go up or it'll go down. You'll have to play with your temperature, as electric stoves do. It will eventually go up a little higher, and you'll have to come back and decrease it and go back and forth. So the beauty of doing a sous vide is you're going to get this meat to cook to a certain temperature, and it'll stay that temperature. And let's say I want medium rare. By doing a sous vide, it's going to take that meat to medium rare the whole time. And it'll be from medium rare from the outside to the inside of the meat. And we'll show you that later. And it'll never overcook your meat when you do it this way. So I'm going to stop there because I'm not really going to cook this one.
Now, let's put that in another vacuum.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about sticking it in the freezer.
So what I'm going to wind up doing is, I'm not going to do that now, but I'm going to leave that there. Once I'm in between, I'm going to wind up shrink wrapping just like I did the first one. And I'm going to freeze this lamb, because the beauty of freezing it when it's done like this is I can take it from the freezer when I want to make another meal. I can take that frozen rack of lamb and cook from frozen, just like you do your frozen meals. I can cook from frozen and it'll do the same thing. Alright, but again, I'm going to do that later. I'm going to do it just like I did before. I'm going to take my seasonings and my lamb and shrink wrap it.
Okay.
Alright, so now, before we get this started, I'm taking over the phone, and Will is going to show you, because actually the attachment for our Joule, which is our sous vide machine, is actually on his phone. And I wanted to show you what's really cool about having the machine. We used to do a lot of the sous vide by hand, and we just love cooking sous vide. And the beauty of that is you cannot overcook this. Let's say you have something set for 2 hours, and all of a sudden you got distracted. You had a phone call, or someone popped over, someone's late, and it went past the 2 hours. It's not going to burn. It's going to stay at that same temperature. So this is our sous vide. So he's going to talk now.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So go ahead and explain.
All right, this is the app that comes with the Joule. Now, the Joule can only operate with an app. There are other sous vide machines that have controls right on the machine. You can debate whether that's good or bad. I like this app because it's got a whole lot of different sub-recipes in it. For example, this is on their menu, and we can do a rack of lamb if it'll light up for me.
Start Joule? I don't know.
There we go. No, it's not going to do that.
My hand, maybe.
Maybe your hand?
Let's rack of lamb.
There we go.
There we go. All right.
Now, this is the rack of lamb application. You can scoot up here. It talks about the lamb. This is the ingredients that we used. This gives you instructions on how to do it. Then if you come back up, it says set the temperature. Well, boy, doesn't like my fingers.
No. All right, so my hands.
All right, so we're going to cook at 131, but you could, and when you punch the 131 in, it has a little video that shows you what the endpoint's going to look like, and they also have this little video that shows you what there's somebody cutting it. You could pick a higher temperature. That's 149, so you can see that the color changes a little stiffer. That's all. It's kind of handy to have that. Let's go back to 131, which is where we're cooking today. Then it tells you to set the time. And we're cooking fresh. There's a fresh option, frozen option.
Just like I explained earlier. So if we were going to go ahead and pull the one later, let's say next month I decided let's have that, hey, you have that rack of lamb that I have preset. It's already seasoned. It's ready to go. We take it from the freezer and go straight to, and we would hit frozen instead of fresh.
Now we're ready to go. So you can start Jewel.
Start the jewel. And
You can hear it.
voila! You hear it going? And it's starting.
Now,
So,
this shows, this tells you the temperature right now is 125 degrees. It'll take just a couple of minutes, if that, to heat up to 131, and it'll give you an alarm telling you it's ready to go.
right, as soon as it does, you're going to hear it. And once it does, I'm going to go ahead and put my shrink-wrapped my shrink-wrapped lamb into the water. I don't know, do you think we're going to need a plate?
I don't know, I don't think so.
I don't think so either. A lot of times, like once it's ready, when I asked about the plate, is sometimes we'll put something in the jewel and you want to leave the water submerged, the product in the water. I might put a little plate in to keep it under. You don't have to do that all the time. And again, like I said, this is going to keep it at that temperature at 131 the whole time. The beauty of having this machine is I won't have to watch this. I know this is going to stay at 131 the whole time for the 2 hours. And even then some. Did you hear that ding ding? So, our rack of lamb is going in the water. Now, we like to use a wrap around it. One, it's going to hold the temperature in a little bit more, but you don't need to. And also, you see, it's going to bubble up. Helps keep splatter everywhere, from going everywhere. So this is part 1 of our video on Sous Vide. Again, this is with the machine. As I showed you before, you could do it, the old-fashioned way with a thermometer and just a pot of water. And it will come back to you later and do a part 2 after we're done.
One more little thing. The timer started, we're doing it for 2 hours. If at the end of 2 hours you're not ready for it, you can continue to run it for several more hours, and it's not going to change anything about the doneness of the meat. You get too far out, it'll get a little bit, the texture will go back. What's beautiful about this app on the Jewel, if I can keep my phone lit up, is that when it's ready,
and you don't see his password. Nope, you didn't see that. Okay.
when it's ready, when it's cooked, it'll give an alarm, and then it tells you how much longer you can hold it before the texture of the meat starts to go bad. It'll give you how many hours and minutes you could continue to run it at the finished temperature before the quality starts to deteriorate, which I think is a nice little thing to have.
True. All right. So that is part 1 of getting this started. We're gonna have the rack of lamb going for about 2 hours, 2.5 hours. Once it's done and we have it and we're pulling it out, I am going to come back with part 2 of the video. Part 2 would be how we finish it. Now, I'm probably going to finish it one of 2 ways. We're still debating. We're either going to pan sear the rack of lamb, or we are going to
We're pan-searing.
go outside in this yucky snow again and grill it. Although, you know, I am crazy enough to grill out in the rain and in the snow. I've done that before, or actually I've sent Will out there to do that. But no, we're going to go ahead and pan sear it. So you'll see that for part 2. All right, thanks for watching. Okay, sous vide part 2. All right, so our sous vide is done. Kind of buzzed. We kind of missed the buzz, but it's done. So we stop our sous vide. We stop. Whatever. It's stopped. We stop it manually. Hold on. Yay! It stopped. Oh, oops. All right. So. Alright, hand the phone over. Now when we're about to do this, we do not, normally when you take meat out before you slice and everything, you would let your meat rest before you can do anything. During sous vide, you don't have to let it rest. It's been resting the whole time while you had it in there, so no need to rest. I'm going to go ahead and pull this out. To remove my goodies. Take that out and save the juice. A lot of times I'll save the juices and make a sauce out of it. As you can tell, there's not much sauce saved from the lack of ram. Alright. Now, in order to sear the meat, I'm going to pat it dry because you cannot get a good sear while the meat is still moist. You want a nice dry meat to sear it. Okay. Drying it off, patting it dry. We're going to take it over and we're going to go ahead and sear it. We're going to sear it fat side down in our preheated pan on medium high heat. You want to use a vegetable oil rather than a olive oil. Just a little bit of vegetable oil just to get it won't stick, because olive oil will make it smoke too much. So, all right, again, we are going to sear it pan side down, or fat side down. Hold on. Let me get.
Good.
All right. Alrighty. And you want it all to touch. Get a nice sear going. I don't know, can you hear it? It only takes about a minute to sear. A minute on this side, and then I'm gonna flip it over and then turn off the heat. So just about a minute. It does not take long at all. Get a nice crusty sear. See the smoke? If I had smell-o-vision, you'd like it. And we're going to go ahead and wait a few seconds. I'm not quite there. I didn't like the color. And almost there. Almost. And then I believe what we're going to do is probably just cut this in half, since it's just the two of us once we have it. We're having a salad and a baked potato to go with. Not much. Almost there. Almost there. A few more seconds. I don't know, were you able to see that little bit of color in there? That's what I was looking for. Not quite where I wanted it. Okay, we're almost there. I'm at the minute mark now. There we go. And we're turning off the heat. And then we're gonna let it sit there for about a minute. All right. And I don't think you need to watch that. All right. So, well, no, Will wants to show us everything. So, actually, it's gonna sit there and cook on the other side. I'm not adding more attention to it because I think we got enough. As you see, about 5 minutes into this video, the last one wound up being pretty big, so I'm trying to not make this one as long. Alrighty. So we're almost there, about another few moments here. And ready to remove. And again, when I say when I have it to a medium rare, we prefer our lamb at medium rare. The beauty of doing sous vide is it's going to be medium rare from the outside all the way through the meat. It's unlike when you cook something on the grill, you're going to have it could be more well done on the outside, and then the medium and the inside is going to be medium rare. So here we go. And it's on, and we're back to our butcher block table in which we are going to cut, and we'll plate up on our dinner.
So you cut from top down with a butcher knife?
Yeah. So, coming in. Oh heck, I'm not.
You can use that.
But, sorry. There we go. We have a beautiful medium rare lamb rack. All right. Here we go. And we are going.
Clean it up on this side.
There we go. Dinner is served. I hope you enjoyed. Bye. Thank you. All right, my hands are greasy. Can you hit the stop?